Hi, and welcome to Best in Tesla. So, Nissan, once a leader in EVs with their Nissan Leaf that showed the way with electric vehicles, but they have given their leadership away and are sinking fast, and the job cuts and plant closure I reported on in November 2024 was clearly not enough. They are more than doubling their job cuts, as their losses for 2024 was the biggest loss in 25 years. So, let's check it all out and let's dive right in. Nissan is doubling down on its aggressive restructuring efforts, announcing plans to slash 20,000 jobs globally and shutting down 7 factories by 2027 as part of its Nissan recovery strategy. The Japanese automakers grappling with a $4.5 billion annual loss, the largest since 1999. They face mounting pressure from slumping sales, rising costs, and looming U.S. tariffs under President Trump's administration. This paints a painful financial picture for Nissan. Nissan's fiscal year 2024, ending on March 31, 2025, was a wake-up call. The company reported a staggering 671 billion yen of $4.5 billion net loss, driven by weak demand in key markets like North America and China, which I have been talking about for years would happen with legacy automakers in China, as China would go much faster to BEVs than legacy automakers would be able to keep up within production. And we are seeing that play out right now. Mitsubishi and Suzuki has already been pushed out of China, and Jeep joint venture has filed for bankruptcy. Like Michael Dunn reported, global automakers will sell 7 million fewer vehicles in China this year than they did in 2020. So even though you might not hear much about it in the mainstream media, the legacy automakers are collapsing as we speak. Like GM and Volkswagen that have lost 1 million vehicles in China in just 5 years. That's not slowly. That's a dramatic drop in sales that is not easy to recover from. But Nissan's operating income for the fourth quarter plummeted to 5.9 billion yen, far below analyst expectations of 45.71 billion yen. Adding to the uncertainty, Nissan withheld its profit forecast for the coming year, citing the unpredictable impact of U.S. tariff policies. The previous fiscal year was challenging, with rising cost and uncertain environment, the CFO Stephen Ma said. Funny how every OEM is talking about the difficult times we have been in, with high interest rate and uncertain environment and so on and so on. But when it's Tesla saying that 2024 was going to be a tough year because they were between two growth waves and we had a shaky economy with high interest rate, everyone is just hearing excuses from Tesla. But anyway, in China, Nissan struggles against a fierce competition for domestic giants like BYD, where falling prices have eroded margins. Meanwhile, North America sales have faltered, prompting the company to scale back investments, including scrapping plans for a $1.1 billion electric vehicle battery plant in Japan. This is also very common in the industry. They all promise the world and will catch up to Tesla, and Nissan was even a forerunner for the EV revolution with the Nissan Leaf. But like many others that promised 100% BEVs in 2030 and many other big plans, are all backtracking on those plans. And we are just getting started with this BEV transition. And just look how much the legacy automakers are already struggling. And the global BEV market is not even like 20% yet. So drastic measures are needed, and Nissan plans to do exactly that, with job cuts and factory closures. To stop the bleeding, Nissan is accelerating its cost-cutting initiative. The company initially planned 9,000 job cuts in November 2024, as I reported on back then, but has now expanded to 20,000, roughly 15% of its global workforce. Ouch. This includes up to 2,000 jobs in the US, primarily at plants in Tennessee and Mississippi, where production of models like the Rogue and Altima will see reduced shifts. Nissan also plans to reduce its global manufacturing footprint, cutting vehicle production plans from 17 to 10. 3 factories will close outright with additional shift reduction in the US and Japan. These moves aim to save $3.5 billion by 2027, though they come at a steep human cost. CEO Makoto Ushida, who has faced scrutiny for Nissan's declining performance, emphasized the need for bold action. "We are in a severe situation," Ushida said, acknowledging that the weak sales and operational inefficiency have left the company vulnerable. So not only me saying that they are in trouble, they are saying it themselves. The specter of the U.S. tariffs, a cornerstone of Trump's trade policy, looms large. Proposed tariffs on vehicles manufactured outside the U.S. could disrupt Nissan's supply chain and increase costs for its American customers. Unlike Tesla, which produce all models domestically, Nissan relies on a global manufacturing, making it particularly exposed. To mitigate this, Nissan is exploring partnership with Mitsubishi and Honda for a joint U.S. production, a move that could localize more of its supply chain and shield it from tariffs' impact. So, more mergers of the falling giants. Not a good sign. Interestingly, Nissan has avoided some cuts in Tennessee, where its plant produced the US-built Rogue. The model's domestic production aligns with tariffs exception, providing a temporary respite. However, the broader tariff uncertainty has forced Nissan to adopt a cautious outlook, with no clear profits guiding for the fiscal year ahead. But is there a glimmer of hope? Despite the grim financial, Nissan's stock climbed modestly after the announcement as investors welcomed the aggressive restructuring. The company is betting on its Re-Nissan plan to streamline operation and refocus on high-growth segments like EVs and hybrids. Oh no. Planning for future focus on hybrids. That is a waste of money. They will go away, just like we have seen here in Scandinavia. But it is not only me. Analysts remain skeptical. Competition in China and the US shows no signs of easing, and the tariff wildcard could upend even the best-laid plans. Nissan partnership talks with Mitsubishi and Honda signal a pragmatic approach to survival. By pooling resources, the automakers aim to bolster the US presence and compete with rivals like Toyota and Stellantis. Yet with Renault, Nissan's long-term ally, facing a projected €2.2 billion loss tied to Nissan's struggles, the road to recovery looks daunting. So what is next for Nissan? Well, Nissan's leadership is under pressure to deliver result. Ushida, who took 50% pay cut in 2024 amid earlier layoffs, must navigate a delicate balance, cutting costs without alienating workers and compromising quality, and developing a better EV platform. The company's decision to sell parts of Mitsubishi Motors' stake and reduce global capacity by 20% reflect a leaner, more focused Nissan, but one that must regain customers' trust and market share. As the auto industry braces for a turbulent 2025, as I have been saying from the beginning, Nissan's story is a cautionary tale of global pressure converging, trade wars shifting consumers' preference, and relentless competition. Whether the Re-Nissan plan can steer the company back to profitability remains to be seen. But one thing is clear, the road ahead is anything but smooth. Because Nissan does not really have nice compelling EVs, and their software is lacking, and there is no real plan for autonomy. So Tesla coming out with a supervised full self-driving in China and hopefully soon Europe as well, and we just seen testing in Australia and unsupervised in the US next month, is not going to make it easier for legacy automakers like Nissan. EVs are going to feel like outdated old-school cars, and ICE cars and hybrids will feel like dinosaurs when we have autonomous driving. I really don't see how this ends well for the legacy automakers, as being bailed out is not really a happy ending. And if they get bailed out, then what? They have such a long road ahead of them to catch up in terms of technology. They will be bailed out and continue making hybrids and cutting jobs and cutting plants. This is not a company that is in the driver's seat controlling where it is heading. This is a company desperately just trying to stay afloat. And thank you for watching. And until next time, take care out there and be nice.